Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. How are you today? Do you know what today is? Do you know what today is? I think it's, hold on a minute. Tuesday, June 12th, 2018. I couldn't think of that. Look, here's the story today. I don't know when people are going to start to wake up. Maybe you do. How about this? So we just found out that inflation is rising at the fastest pace since 2012. Okay. Meanwhile, I mean, it's kind of, I don't even know what to say. The Confederacy of Dunces, all of them, they've been trying to convince you, me, that there is no inflation. You know, we're not seeing it. It's nowhere to be found. It's, not on the elemental chart. I mean, this, I'm not just addressing those that dwell within CNBC and Bloomberg. I'm talking about our politicians. I'm talking about our president. I'm talking about Federal Reserve presidents and chair people. They have gone through, I think, pretty incredible lengths to convince you and me that there is no inflation. But again, we spend money, we shop, we can see what's happening here. There's a reason why they're trying to cover that up, and I want to talk about that too. But let's stick to what happened today. So we just found out inflation is now accelerating at the fastest pace that we've seen since 2012. The Federal Reserve is well above their 2% target. As a matter of fact, it came in at 2.8%. Now, how many of you here, with the show of hands, get your hand up, okay, remember hearing, I mean, not just even that long ago, how the Federal Reserve was determined to hit their 2% target. They couldn't do it. They kept talking about it over and over. Now, they've obviously overshot substantially. Nobody bats an eyeball. No one even says, Steve Leisman, for example, on CNBC this morning. I mean, did you catch this guy? Steve, dude. You know what? I'm not even going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to beat up on you, Steve. I've done it a lot of times. But you really got to come down to reality here. The Federal Reserve has missed the mark, okay? Big time. Big time. They're way, way behind the curve. They're afraid to do anything. All they want to do is continue to inflate. And that's what we're seeing now. Okay, so let's put another perspective on this for everybody, not just Steve Leisman here, because I know he doesn't really get it. There is no way to prevent this inflation that we're seeing here, and you and I have been noticing for quite a long time that we were told that we're crazy and there is no inflation. Well, there's no way to stop this from getting monumentally worse. I mean, consider the most basic scenario. So since the 2008 market crash, the Federal Reserve, other world central banks have been on a money printing binge, adding digits to a screen, unlike we've ever seen. And I'm not making this up. This is beyond anything we have ever witnessed in the history of finance and the history of the world. So we have all of these extra bills in every form you want to talk about, digital mostly, just floating around out there. How do we prevent all of these extra bills in any form, Steve Leisman specifically, from at one point chasing the same amount of goods? This is economics 101, Steve Leisman. It can't happen. So that's what we're seeing now. We're starting to see it. And they're going to continue to try to cover this up. Now, here's the issue moving forward. I believe tomorrow we're going to get a Federal Reserve rate hike, 25 basis points short end of the curve. You know how this works. I've been talking about it a lot. If the Fed falls behind the curve, like they already have, I mean, they've well surpassed their 2% target. 2.8 today. What's that percentage? It's huge. Anyway, they're going to have to raise rates more aggressively. You understand? And that's going to affect the stock market. It's going to affect housing prices. Why housing? Well, Think about why. It's just very simple. If they raise rates, well, something's going to have to balance out. The affordability of the houses, which is already unaffordable to the average guy or average girl, will become less affordable, so that price will have to come down to compensate for the rising rate environment. Very simple. This is all just black and white pretty much. But anyway, look, it should upset you, and it upsets me, that the Confederacy of Dunces, that our politicians, even our own president, won't come out here and say, well, if this were good news, he would, of course, our president, broadcast it. But now that we're actually seeing inflation and the Federal Reserve has overshot their 2% target, well, we don't hear a peep. Crickets. Let's see. You hear anything? I don't hear a damn thing. All right, with that said, we'll pick this up at the end of the day. Let me know what you think of all this. See you later.